happenings. But of course, we have your favorites. Let's begin by just checking in with Willis Oching, joining us straight from Kisii County. Willis, how are you doing tonight?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking, Betty. And how are you?
I'm great. You're looking very royal in that purple, Willis. What have you prepared for us tonight?
Well, I have the word here, Betty, but as you say, I look royal, you look great. But the word is right here.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Willis. So talk to us about that word.
Now, this word, it's the word that we are expecting people to try their tongues with on or in the streets. So we just have to show them the word. They try. They can send in their attempts using the WhatsApp system, or that is the number, and that is what you're going to explain to them. If not, they can also be expecting those who tried on or in the streets.
Well, it's just the way you talk that is sometimes almost robotic. But you know what? I love that we're going to be learning the correct pronunciation of that particular word. You can also engage us on X. During the show, you can ask him the questions that you'd want him to tackle when we get to which is which later on. Willis, looking forward to the segment tonight. Stay put and watch the news. We have Jalas in the building. And just talking about our guest tonight, he just entered the studio, and I'm so glad that he kept time. Talking about Heavy J Baba. Heavy J Baba. Talk about a guy who was, a fisherman, went into comedy, radio, TV. He graduated finally, and now he is the MP for Lang'ata. My goodness, you know what? Actually, because he's in studio, let's just say a quick hello to him before we start our show tonight. Heavy J Baba, karibu sana kwa studio. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, good. Oh, good. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Tafadhali.
No,
Pole. My brother, how are you?
Kuna baridi hapa nje. It's really cold out here.
In studio. You know, this is actually the first time I'm interviewing you as Atimheshimiwa.
You know,
this guy has been my brother.
Yes.
Now Atimheshimiwa.
I've interviewed you, you've interviewed me.
Yeah.
And there's no feeling like Mhesh. I'm your brother and we always have a good time. It's going to be a good show.
It's going to be a good show. And I had a question because I saw on your Instagram, umepost wapek kulikuwa na Emma Jalang'o.
Yeah.
Mbona sijaiona Ken wa Maria kwa wapek delicacies?
Ashawaikam.
Hapana.
Siambakala.
Seriously.
Galas ni mutongo.
Oh my goodness, Jalas. So good to see you.
Thank you so much.
You guys are going to be having Jalas in studio. Nimeona maswali mingi. Umeweza ubaze maswali mingi.
Kuna maswali.
Atile no, ulisema ni kama unaogopa. Ati mimi nimevote no.
Really?
Hiyo ni kitu moja nimesikia.
Nilisema no ya ukweli ile. Paka tukarekod paka ama nikuonyeshe.
Hebu niambie.
Lakini let me show you.
Ati hiyo no yake, ati the no he said it was no. It was no va.
Uko na mambo. Hebu nikuulize hii ni no ya ukweli ama hii ni no ya uongo?
Nini hiyo?
Hii no.
Hebu tuone.
Nikuonyeshe.
Okay, ongeza sauti ndo at least our viewers. Okay, put the volume up. Ayo, ungesema sana.
Angalia.
No. My goodness, it's going to be a great show. As you can tell, Jalas is in the building. Atatuambia so much more. I'm going to ask you a very difficult question.
Which one?
I'll ask you later, but just think about it. Let's say ungekuwa the president of this country.
Yes.
Vitu ziko hivi vile ziko. Ungefanya nini?
Wow.
Si saizi.
If I was the president.
Yeah.
For later. Okay. I'm going to sit back there. I love to do it.
No, come this way. This
Okay. Pale.
Where energy yako. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a great show. Talk to us on X. We also have a very interesting guest anchor tonight. So this guy, I met this guy in traffic, and he actually sold me peanuts. And we've maintained a friendship for almost 7 years. And right now, he has a shop that is selling the best kicks in town. He's going to be our guest anchor. I'm so excited to have him here in studio later on. But for now, let's begin the show with the highlights. Let's go.
President William Ruto nominates 11 new cabinet members after extensive consultations with both government and opposition allies.
Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, Alice Wahome. Ministry of Education, Julius Migosi Ogamba.
The president has unveiled 11 new cabinet members, combining fresh faces with trusted allies to strengthen his government's agenda. Just who are the new nominees? Azimio leader Kalonzo Musyoka has confirmed that his allies will not join the broad-based government proposed by President William Ruto. Kalonzo believes joining the National Unity Government would betray Gen Z and millennials.
We shall not participate in or support the proposed Kenya Kwanza-led broad-based government of national unity.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this Friday with me, Betty Kialo. Our sign language interpreter is Rhoda Nyamai, and we begin the news tonight. Now, President William Ruto has appointed a new cabinet, naming only 11 members for various positions, as opposed to the 22 cabinet secretaries he initially promised. Now, he has stated that the remaining positions will be filled after further consultations. Additionally, the president has reappointed 6 cabinet secretaries from the dissolved cabinet, this including Professor Kithure Kindiki, Davis Chirchir, Aden Duale, Alice Wahome, Soipan Tuya, and Rebecca Miano, who has been appointed to serve as the Attorney General. Our senior reporter Elizabeth Mutuku has the details.
In an address which lasted for less than 20 minutes in the much-awaited unveiling of a new cabinet, President William Ruto presented the 11-member cabinet, which is half of the expected 22 cabinet members, even as he insisted on the sole duty to have a working and responsible cabinet, as suggested by the youth in the anti-government protests.
I gave the nation my undertaking to reflect at length on these issues that have been brought into sharp focus by the people of Kenya. I also promised to consult widely on the way forward, and I also promised to craft a broad-based government that would harness the enormous potential in our country to turbocharge our economic transformation.
The fresh names fronted include those of Dr. Deborah Mulongo Barasa, who has been appointed in the Ministry of Health, Julius Migos Ogamba to lead the Ministry of Education, Dr. Andrew Muhia Karanja, appointed in the Ministry of Agriculture, Margaret Nyambura Ndungu has been appointed in Information Communication Technology docket, Mogamu Rithi Eric in the Ministry of Water and Sanitation.
Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing, and Urban Development, Alice Wahome. Ministry of Education, Julius Migosi Ogamba. Ministry of Defense, Aden Bare Duale. Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Dr. Andrew Muhia Karanja.
However, some of the fortunate cabinet secretaries who were retained in the new cabinet include Professor Kithure Kindiki, who has been reappointed in the Ministry of Interior, Aden Duale, reappointed in the Ministry of Defense, Davis Chirchir, appointed in the Ministry of Roads and Transport, Alice Wahome, appointed in the Ministry of Land, and Rebecca Miano, expected to fill the shoes of Justin Biden Muturi as the Attorney General.
Attorney General Rebecca Miano. I am continuing to undertake consultations across the political divide on the balance of cabinet that I will appoint shortly. The consultations are at an advanced stage, and internal processes in various sectors are underway to facilitate my appointment of the balance of this cabinet.
The composition of the new cabinet by President William Ruto was expected to meet the demands of Gen Z and Kenyans at large, especially on regional balance, ethnic diversity, corrupt-free leaders, among other demands. Already Kenyans are poking holes in the new cabinet, with 6 cabinet nominees named today, linked from the Mount Kenya region.
Expectation is he'll have to bring some back. My expectation is that he'll also face some backlash, whatever he does. I think leadership requires people who are responsive, but also have the ability to have a thick skin.
In times like this, it's like sort of shock therapy. You are telling people you understand there is a problem. And that shake-up is part of sorting out that problem. And in our situation today, returning 1 or 2 people is synonymous with returning all of them.
President William Ruto has kick-started his cabinet, now seeking competence more than ever, and the 11 names fronted today for Kenyans to approve. But then the much awaited is to see whether there will be inclusion of opposition in the remaining names. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV 47 State House, Nairobi.
Now, President William Ruto has nominated the first batch of cabinet secretaries to replace those fired in a landmark announcement on July 11th this year, following weeks of youth-led anti-government protests. While some former cabinet secretaries have been fortunate enough to make a comeback. Take a look.
The head of state in a press address at State House on Friday said the 11 nominations, including Attorney General, followed consultations across the political divide in an attempt to bring back peace and sanity to the country.
While the events of the past 1 month have caused tremendous anxiety, concern, and uncertainty, the crisis has presented us with a greater opportunity as a nation to craft a broad-based an inclusive citizen coalition for national transformation and progress, made up of all Kenyans from all walks of life.
The list, however, also contains 6 fired cabinet secretaries who now make a comeback in different ministries, the only Professor Kithure Kindiki and Eden Duale retaining their former positions. While Soipan Tuya takes the Environment and Climate Change docket, Alice Wahome takes charge the Lands and Public Works Ministry, Davis Chirchir takes charge the Roads and Infrastructure docket, and Rebecca Miano as the Attorney General.
Wahome amemshukuru rais kwa sababu ya kukubali kumteua mimi Alice Muthoni Wahome mara yangu ya pili. Sasa nikiwa waziri wa ardhi, miji, makao na kazi ya umma.
Although some political experts are saying the first batch of cabinet secretaries named today by President Ruto lacks regional balance.
If you follow the speech of the president since this demonstration began, and if we give a fair judgment, this will be nerving with the security agencies. They have really tried their best even to manage the kind of demonstrations that have been there. And therefore, I think President retaining Kindiki and Duale, he must appreciate the kind of work they have done.
President William Ruto has nominated a new cabinet of 11 people. However, 5 of the newly appointed cabinet secretaries are new in the eyes of many Kenyans. Our reporter Elizabeth Atieno delves into the profiles of the 5 new faces.
Dr. Deborah Mulongo Barasa is the new Health Cabinet Secretary, replacing former CS Susan Nakumicha. Dr. Deborah is a medical doctor specializing in internal medicine and infectious disease with 15 years of experience. Dr. Deborah has a Master's of Medicine in Internal Medicine from the University of Nairobi and an MSc in Infectious Disease from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. She also holds a Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery. Dr. Deborah has served as an infectious disease consultant at the World Health Organization and an internal medicine physician at Mater Hospital. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacist and Dentist Union has congratulated Dr. Deborah on her new role. Julius Migosi Ogamba is the new Education Cabinet Secretary. However, this appointment has sparked mixed reactions considering Ogamba was the running mate of former Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogo for the Kisii gubernatorial race in the 2022 general elections. Ogamba is a legal professional with over 25 years of experience in legal practice. He is a senior partner at Migos Ogamba and Waudo Advocates and is the chairman of Kenya Electricity Generating Company. Eric Muga Mureithi is the CS for Water and Sanitation, a position previously held by Alice Wahome. Mureithi is a civil engineer and a water resource enthusiast with over 8 years' experience. He has hands-on experience in operations and management of engineering projects, water hydraulic modeling, design of water and wastewater networks, and water treatment plants and other water structures. Mureithi has served as an assistant project engineer at the Water and Sanitation Development Project. Dr. Margaret Ndung'o is the new cabinet secretary in the Ministry of ICT, a position previously held by Eliud Owalo. Dr. Margaret Nyambura Ndung'o is an expert in internet governance. Her expertise includes internet infrastructure, AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, and data governance. She coordinated a 6-module online internet governance curriculum used by 30 national and regional schools across Africa and developed a 10-module course for the Pan-African University Institute, tailoring it to the e-skills of participants. Dr. Margaret has an education background in information and management science from the universities of Moi and Nairobi. She is a senior research manager at the Global Digital Inclusion Partnership and co-investigator in the Cybersecurity Mentorship Kit at the Gender Justice in STEM Research in Africa. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Now, some Kenyans are unhappy tonight with President William Ruto's decision to reinstate some cabinet secretaries. Some believe there is no significant difference among the 6 new appointees, and this move is unlikely to bring the much-needed change to crucial ministries like roads and transport. President Ruto made these new appointments today.
Immediately President William Ruto appointed the new cabinet members, he faced backlash from a section of Kenyans frustrated by his decision to retain some cabinet secretaries, some Kenyans implying that no significant changes are expected even after the second round of appointments.
Nyani ni wale wale. Kwa sababu the president actually kama angekuwa anatumia mawazo ambayo iko very free, hangerudisha more than 3 people kwa ile cabinet ya zamani.
The likes of Kithure Kindiki, the likes of Alice Wahome, Davis Chitiri the other day alikuwa kwa energy na kazi yake kwa energy hatukuiona ikiwa very fine. And what was the need ya wewe kudissolve everything? Well, you know, kuna wenye utawarudisha.
A section of them argue that it was unfair for the president to bring back the same people he had fired for underperformance, suggesting that he could have retained them rather than creating a disguise of change.
Hauwezi chukua mtu mwenye alikuwa anaperform like Eliud Owalo unamtoa nje alafu unamreplace na mtu kama Wahome. Wahome the poorest mwenye hakuwa anafanya kitu kwa ofisi.
Amechagua marafiki zake. Juu ukiangalia kama hiyo hiyo Ministry of Education, amechukua watu wake wale walikuwa chama yake, amechukua debut ndiye ameweka sasa education. Yeye anatudanganya. Na amerudia Kindiki.
Lakini Kindiki alileta usalama umoja Kenya mzima. Na ndio unaona maana we rais umemrudisha kwa kazi yake. Kwa hivyo leo tukiwa Meru hapa, sisi tunakushika mkono, tunakuunga mkono.
The head of state is expected to announce further plans next week, focusing on reorganizing his bottom-up economic model that was central to his 2022 campaign. The concern now is whether the majority of the new cabinet secretaries understand how the model works. Paul Kirobi, TV 47, Nairobi.
Now, despite not mentioning the ministries yet to be filled, President William Ruto announced plans for further consultations before submitting the second appointment list. As Aruga Eval now tells us, pressure to dissolve the cabinet stemmed from the protests led by Gen Z, some of who originally demanded the cabinet to be reduced to just 14 ministries.
Step by step, as President William Ruto approached the podium at State House to address the press, few anticipated that out of the 11 ministries he listed, Kenyans would still be left waiting for a complete cabinet.
Attorney General Rebecca Miano. I am continuing to undertake consultations across the political divide on the balance of cabinet that I will appoint shortly.
With only 8 days since he dissolved his cabinet, the following ministries remain vacant: Ministry of National Treasury and Planning, Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife and Heritage, Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Ministry of East Africa Community, ESAL and Regional Development, Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs, Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage, Ministry of Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Ministry of Trade, Investment and Industry, Ministry of Public Service, Performance and Delivery Management. The President's announcement that this is the first phase of appointments, it implies that the remaining appointments will follow later after consultations.
The consultations are at an advanced stage, and internal processes in various sectors are underway to facilitate my appointment of the balance of this cabinet.
This, however, could contradict the demands of the youths who have been protesting and who have advocated for a streamlined cabinet of only 14 cabinet secretaries. The question now arises: has President William Ruto left just 3 or 11 cabinet secretaries to be appointed? Roga Ival, TV47.
Media practitioners in Kenya have strongly condemned the rising trend of attacks targeting journalists in line of duty. The latest incident involves threats directed at journalists working for Royal Media Services through flyers shared on social media, as Chichi Josephine now tells us.
We have to keep on pushing further.
The Kenya Editors Guild has termed the threats against journalists as an assault on the constitutional guarantees of media freedom.
Hatuna uhuru, hakikisho kutoka kwa serikali kwamba tunaweza kutekeleza jukumu letu, wajibu wetu bila muingilio wa serikali, bila vitisho.
Uhuru wa vyombo vya habari lazima iwepo ili tuweze kuwa na nchi ambayo kuna amani, nchi ambayo kuna uongozi bora.
The Media Owners Association of Kenya has also called for speedy investigations into the attacks and for collaborations to create a safe environment for journalists.
Sasa mbona wanaonekana kwamba wanatishika, wana wasiwasi, wana uoga, ndio sababu wanataka kutunyamazisha, ilhali sisi tunafanya kazi yetu. Tumeona vyombo vya habari vikilengwa, sio tu wanahabari peke yake.
The guild also raised concerns over the growing spate of assaults perpetrated by police officers who are mandated by law to ensure safety and security for all in Kenya, including journalists. They termed this as an assault on the Constitution.
They're using all platforms, online and offline, to target and silence media. We no longer have freedom of expression. We can no longer express ourselves freely without fear of intimidation, without fear of threats.
We've received reports that whenever we are also out there as journalists, we are also being attacked by civilians who are also robbing journalists whenever they are doing a job. And whatever we are doing in the best interest of Kenyans.
Elsewhere, the Coast Civil Society Network for Human Rights condemned police brutality meted on journalists covering the anti-government protests.
We call for accountability on transgressions meted against the media and demonstrators. And we wish to emphasize that journalists have self-regulating mechanisms, and they have been applying those mechanisms to the best of our knowledge, and therefore any attempts to interfere with media freedom and media operations is something that we highly condemn.
Speaking in a press conference in Mombasa and led by Peter Kiama, director of Haki Yetu organization, the network condemned the attacks, saying they were clawing back fundamental freedoms of journalists as stipulated by the Constitution.
It is important that we give the media an opportunity to do their work. Without the media, so many deaths would have occurred. We wouldn't know what is happening in Kenya. This is not the time when we had one media house in Kenya. All the media houses must be given an opportunity, and there is no threat that should be targeted to any person or institution in the media.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Thank you, Chichi, for that reporting. So we'll take a short commercial break here on the show, but do not go away. We're coming back with more coverage. And of course, you know, the guest in studio, Heavy J Baba, is going to be talking to us shortly. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
You're going to do half cup of chocolate chips. And the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to fuel your ambition. Don't just dream it, grind it. Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things.
And welcome back. Let's continue with our coverage tonight. And fresh details have emerged on why President William Ruto named half of his cabinet. TV47 can now report that divisions in the Azimio camp and last-minute efforts by President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga to convince Azimio principals to be co-opted into the new unity government failed to materialize, forcing the president to announce the first batch of cabinet secretaries. The Kalonzo Musyoka-led faction, which includes Jubilee's Jeremiah Kioni and Eugene Wamalwa of DAP, now says they will not accept the 7 slots reserved for Azimio.
A last-minute effort by President William Ruto and Azimio leader Raila Odinga to convince Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and fellow Azimio principals Jeremiah Kioni, Eugene Wamalwa and ODM Deputy Party leader Wycliffe Oparanya to join the proposed government of national unity failed to materialize, forcing President William Ruto to announce half his cabinet. Odinga is said to have met Kalonzo early Friday to convince him allow his nominees join the cabinet, but bore no fruit. Kalonzo, flanked by his fellow principals, rejected the offer.
We shall not participate in or support the proposed Kenya Kwanza-led broad-based government of national unity, because this is a betrayal of the Kenyan people, particularly Gen Z and millennials, who are paid the ultimate price to rid this country of the disastrous Kenya Kwanza regime, their harsh taxes, finance bills 2023-2024, corruption, tribalism, unemployment, and the continued high cost of living.
In the proposed contentious lineup of 7 cabinet slots, Kalonzo's Wiper Party was to get 2 slots, Matungulu MP Stephen Mule and Kathiani MP Robert Mbui. ODM reserved slots include Yunet Mohamed, Hassan Joho, Rafael Tuju, and Wycliffe Oparanya. Another slot had been reserved for DAP Party Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa. Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni had also been approached, but rejected the offer.
He has even talked to some of our people directly himself, anapiga simu. Those who know his number, some have refused to take the number, but it is no longer a secret that he has approached people as parties and even as individuals, even to the point of trying to play one against the other. Like going to this person and saying, kwa nini unakataa na fulani amekubali? Kwa nini unakataa na hawa tumewakubali? So that whole game has now been exposed. When we sit as a team, we are able to say, what have you been told?
We are very clear, we are not body. And the statement which was issued by my party leader, it was very affirm that we are not body. And 2, I want to bring the agencies to speed. Their demand has not been met. The demand for agencies was very clear, don't recycle.
President William Ruto's UDA party, through his Secretary General Cleophas Malala, is prevailing upon Kalonzo to draw up his hardline stance and join the government.
I would like to urge the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka to reconsider his hard stand on rejecting peaceful talks to ensure that Kenya returns to normalcy. Kalonzo Musyoka has been serving as our vice president, and this demands of him to join other leaders in ensuring that we have a cohesive country.
The Kalonzo, Kioni, Wamalwa, Azimio faction and their allies have now issued new demands to President Ruto that the only dialogue they will accept is a convention that will pave way for a transitional government, or they initiate a snap election for Ruto's exit.
This is something we need to really reflect on after what our leader, Honorable Raila Odinga, has called a convention. A convention, not a dialogue.
With Azimio already divided on a government of national unity, the new appointments have only served to exacerbate the situation, deepening divisions and opposition to the new administration. Apul Kamau, TV47 in Nairobi.
Thank you, Apollo, for those fresh details. Well, we now want to cross over to some sporting action.
Sports news brought to you by Maybet. Join Maybet leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako. Chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybet. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia, pesa inavutia.
That song has a kick to it. Now, Nathan Otieno Omondi from Homa Bay County is the winner of the GOtv Euros Maybets Grand Prize. Now, the electrician won the $500,000 shillings grand prize of the campaign. Maybets, a team led by the chief executive officer, visited Omondi at his home in Kodoyo and handed him the check. Omondi plans to expand their family business in the county and also to finish building a house for his parents. The GOtv Euros Maybets campaign has been actually running for the last 1 month, awarding over 3,000 winners daily and weekly.
Kwa majina naitwa Nathan Omondi, natoka Homa Bay Junction Kudoyo. Mimi ni mtishi, anafanya kazi ya stima ya umeme. Maybet niliona kwa TV 47, nikaenda nikagoogle nikapata Maybet, nikaamua nianze kutafuta maisha hapo.
Alright, hii 500,000. Kitu ya kwanza unafikiria kufanya nayo ni nini?
Kitu ya kwanza nataka nimalize nyumba ya mama yangu ambayo imekwama. Sasa nilikuwa naomba nikipata tu hii pesa, nimalize nayo nyumba ya mama yangu, alafu ingine ambayo imebaki, ninunue TV kubwa. Sasa nilikuwa na watch mpira yote, sasa sitaki hata moja niwache.
Na nimekuwa nikimtia moyo na mwambia si give up, siku moja tuta succeed.
Nini utafanyia hii pesa mzee akikupatia share yako? Juu najua hawezi kosa.
Mzee akinipatia share yangu, mimi kama mama napenda kupanua biashara yangu.
Tumepatia mtu ana deserve.
Wewe una feel itamsort?
Itamsort. Anakuja kumalizia nyumba alafu mtoto anazaliwa kwa nyumba imeisha.
Perfect.
Kazi ya Mungu wewe.
Wow, congratulations, Nathan. Finish that house for your parents. Very exciting news there. Okay, now moving on. With 7 days left before the start of the 2024 Paris Olympics, Team Kenya continues to acclimatize in Miramar City, south of France. And our sports reporter Mumbi Chege tells us why 800 meters maestro Emmanuel Wanyonyi is a man to watch.
Emmanuel Wanyonyi is a Kenyan athlete who specializes in middle distance running in the 800 meters. At the age of just 19, Wanyonyi is already a senior world medalist, a world under-20 champion, and a world record holder. At the age of 17 years, Wanyonyi won the gold medal at the 2021 World Under-20 Championships, setting a new record in the process by becoming the 5th fastest under-20 runner in the world. At the trials in Nyayo National Stadium for the Olympic qualifiers, he ran the 3rd fastest time in the history of the 800 meters. Wanyonyi received the Men's Rising Star honor at the World Athletics Awards in 2023, a year in which he also became part of Kenya's winning team in the mixed relay. Wanyonyi will be joined by Commonwealth Games champion Wycliffe Kinyamal and Koitatoi Kidali in the quest for Olympic glory. Reporting for TV 47, my name is Mumbi Chege.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets. Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako. Chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia,
That song has a really cool kick. I don't know if you guys normally feel it. It gives us that kick for the sports. All right, so let me tell you something, guys. The Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care Body Lotion is really a game changer for us. Well, it provides 48 hours of deep nourishment and reduces the appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. Imagine that. Now, this lotion is made to meet our unique skincare needs as Africans, giving us a solution that truly works. It not only nourishes, but but also deeply moisturizes the skin to prevent dry, ashy skin with 5 vitamins and 5 oils. There's no need to mix additional oils to your Nivea Radiant and Beauty body lotion. The lotion by itself is enough to give you well moisturized skin for 48 hours. You'll love how your skin looks and feels. Nivea for your shade of beautiful. All right, and with that really deep, nourishing message, we go to our break. And thank you so much for your feedback, your comments on our social media. Peter Walker, you're saying you're watching from Topa, Mombasa. You're really loving the show. You're happy to see Willis, and you're actually asking him to help you pronounce a certain word that I also don't know the pronunciation, so I'll not try, but I'll talk to him about it. Thank you so much. Keep the tweets coming on X, on Instagram, Facebook, and we're going to take a short commercial break, but we're coming back with this guy, Heavy J Baba Mwenyewe. You're here. Uko poa? Weekend plan form?
Kutoka hapa.
Of course, tukimaliza job.
Sherehe.
All right, guys, so we take a short commercial break. We're coming back with Jalas.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. The Grind, where business meets brilliance. It's not just about the ideas.
I was working as a shampoo boy. I used to wash clients' hair on the sink.
It's about making them happen. From big wins.
In primary school, when we would be asked what people want to be, I was categorical that I want to be a nurse.
To hard lessons.
The consoles change, the gaming equipment keep changing.
We cover it all. Tune in to The Grind, where every episode is packed with insights.
The person who is serving customers, always be a customer-centric.
Strategies.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
And stories to
This
fuel your
Friday
ambition.
with Betty, brought to you by Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care.
New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care. With 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care. For your shade of beautiful.
Well, and welcome back to this Friday. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on TV47. So before you get into that conversation with Jalas, let's just cross over quickly to Willis Ocheng. Willis, the word master. Willis, the English professor. Willis, are you good? Are you enjoying the show? We have Jalas in the building tonight.
Betty, I always love when you say simply Willis. Simply Willis. But anyway, when you listen to Betty and Jalash, one thing, you are two great achievers. Jalang'o really deserves a pat on the back. For anybody who may be knowing Jalang'o well, he is one person who has achieved what nobody might have expected, and he is a telling story of how persistence and focus can take somebody far, Betty.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. He's heard you loud and clear.
Very, very good English. And Willis always just, and I'm happy that you always keep your people close.
Absolutely.
And you move with your people. When you grow with people.
Yeah.
And it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Willis, we'll get back to you at the top of the hour. So let's now talk to one and only Jalas. Naona umevaa a watch ya maana. Kama tusiende huko. Naona sisi mnaangaliwa amevaa watch gani, kiatu tena ni gani. Hiyo ni how much hiyo? Unacheka.
Unataka nifukuzwe kazi eh?
Is it expensive?
This
but you could have maybe you could have bought it maybe 10 years ago.
Or even 30 years ago. This is not an expensive watch. Yes.
It's just
a modest watch.
It's just a modest watch.
Yes.
All right, Jalas, I want to just first of all hear your thoughts about today's eventful announcement by the president, the 11 nominees. Some Kenyans are not so happy. What do you think from where you sit?
From where I sit, I'm happy the president is listening. It is something that maybe he should have even done much earlier, just to continue consulting and listening to the people. For a long time, for a very long time maybe, people have not been exercising chapter 1 of the Constitution, sovereignty. And the power of the people. The people shall. The people shall. Mandatory. May. Optional. So I'm happy that he's listening, and consultations are still going on. The nominees will be brought to Parliament. The different committees will vet them. And if they find them ready and good for the job, why not? Let's keep the country going.
But there seems to be a lot of anger with regard to the comebacks. You know, Aden Dwale, Kithure Kindiki, you know, people are feeling like, you know, are there not other people who can take these slots who have not been there before? For the president to retain some of these people, he must have seen what they were doing before, and still feel that they are okay to be in those positions. Then politics are a bit different, Betty. You know, politics is almost like war. You put your team together and say that we are going to the battlefield. When you lose in politics, it's the saddest thing. You lose with your whole team. Your whole team loses. And everybody goes back to other things that maybe they were doing before. And lives change, lives, property. Politics is a very expensive affair. When you win with your team, and you know the people who were with you in the battle, you understand? And it will open maybe another different kind of debate, that if you really want to be part of a government from the word go, be part of the war that actually makes that government. I know the president is in a very big crossroad right now. These are the people who walk with him day in, day out. Campaigns are not anything I would wish for even my worst enemy. They're very brutal. And when you win, and this is your team, and everybody knows that now, it's like a hunter. Then you're bringing the food back home, and the whole team is happy. Then now you are faced with a situation where the team that was with you in the battle cannot be part
of the meal that you brought home. I know he's in a crossroad, but I hope he gets some it's called solemnic vision and advice from everyone and make good decisions.
But is it based on competency or rewards? Because I think that is where Kenyans are getting angry, especially the Gen Zs. You know, is it competency or, you know, is it settling political, you know, achievements like you mentioned?
I can tell you, politics is about reward and rewarding the people who you are in the battle with. Betty, today, let's say you are running for Nairobi Women Rep.
Yeah.
You go ahead and put a team and say that this is the team that we are going for this battle with, all right? Then you lose. Do you know all of them lose with you and nobody would care?
Yeah.
If you win, they're the first people who will be with you on that table that day to know what is in it for us. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
so maybe
it's not about competency, Jalas, as much as you want to reward the people who worked with you and, you know, battled with you through this war that you're talking about. But at the end of the day, there's also governance, there's development apart from politics.
Beyond the CSS and all. Let's say Ministry of Roads, for example. We have the different authorities. If you go to Kura, we have Engineer Kinoti there. If you go to Kenha, we have at the authorities and the parastatals, we have people who are really running the show in the different ministries. And the CS, it might be the person heading the team, definitely a big reward for the job that he did in the battle. But I can tell you, most of these parastatals are actually headed by people who are the experts in the different fields that they are in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave that argument over there. But how are we likely to see the country moving forward? Because still the Gen Zs are saying the rage is on. They're still angry. They're not willing to cede ground. At the end of the day, also, like you said, the president still has to lead the country. How are you seeing this next coming days, maybe weeks, months? Coming out and turning out.
Each and every single day, the rage is coming down, because the president is leading.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's coming down. It's not like it was.
There's another big protest being planned on Tuesday, the 23rd.
Let's wait and see how it goes. But with the rage, with the president listening, and things starting to change up and down, finance bill is out, the cabinet secretaries were out, maybe when the Gen Zs come out again, maybe they will be listened again. And I know one day we will come to an equilibrium where every other person will be happy and we will move on. Yes.
Did you see this Gen Z uprising come about, even from your constituency level? Did you ever feel, that people are about to get out of the streets? Finally,
of course, yes.
At what point did you?
Wow. Not even at what point did I. It was evident that one day people start asking very tough questions. We have so many young men out here who feel that nobody is listening to them. And for a very long time, they actually thought that no one was listening to them, and the political class was just a class on its own that thought that they are so much in control and can always have their way in almost everything that they want.
Yes.
But now, when this thing boiled to a point that it could not now stop, they came out. And now, there's no doubt you either have to listen or ship out.
All right.
That's it.
What do you think is going to be, just moving forward, what do you foresee for Kenya as a country with this uprising, with this almost revolution? What is likely to change forever for this country?
One thing that this will do, it will make politics not a really lucrative venture that you'd want to get yourself into.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because every other person out there would look at politics as the one and only way to make quick money out here.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, it could also turn to be the most expensive venture that you can always get into.
Yes.
Like I always say, if you have a business or a job that gets you some amount of money and you are in peace with it, and you've not really instilled yourself into community development, community work, empathy, working with people, you have no business getting into politics, because you might even be going into so much losses than you even expected. Yes.
What is your take on the salary cut that was being proposed? People are saying MPs should be paid 200,000 at the most.
I don't have a problem with it. Personally, I've been in spaces where I was even paid more than what I earn right now. And funny enough,
I'm not flexing.
I've worked with you. I left media when I was one of the top radio presenters. I left at my peak. Any good dancer knows when to leave the dance floor. And even if I came back today, my work ethic will still allow me to sit back on a TV station, a radio station, and just give my best to it. You get what I mean? Yes. So salary cuts notwithstanding, but it will also, one thing that must also change, I wish people start getting involved in politics more.
They are already.
No, I don't think they are. It's still not there. Politics is coming, Betty, when the real battle now begins.
Like the campaign period.
The campaigns begins. And now we know that this is the person you are actually facing. And the battle of politics begin. It's a very different space. It is something I wasn't even ready. You see, when I was running, I had more than over 2 million followers on Instagram, 4 million on Facebook, but I was struggling to get even 30,000 people to vote for me.
To vote for you.
You understand? So social media and the real ground is a very different space. Politics is a very different space. And I can tell you that.
We'll talk about what we're doing on the ground shortly, but I just want to hear, like, just looking at, the National Assembly, the Senate, there's so many great young leaders who are so eloquent. Crystal, Asige, you look at them. What do you think of this new crop? Like, is the future bright enough, to have
the future is so bright, most of for the young people. If you see them out there articulate issues, and they're not even in the assemblies, with the Senate or the National Assembly, you can see that we have a very enlightened, a very aggressive young people who are able to take this country to greater heights. Yes.
Talking about development, nimekuona kwa ground. Unashindanga kwa ground, Jalas. Because every day is like almost you're distributing this here, this here.
One thing I said,
where do you get this money from?
One thing I said is the people of Lang'ata gave me the greatest honor that nobody can ever bestow to anyone. That they decided that in the 13th Parliament, it is me, Jalas, who will represent them. And why did they send me to that, to the House, to represent, to legislate? You understand? And that is what I'm doing, and do a lot of oversight around it. Now, we have money allocated for the different projects. But as a member of Parliament, once or twice you go even further to be able to get your own money to do some other things on ground. When we came in, one of the biggest challenges that Lang'ata was going through was the water issue. We can't say that we have completely solved it, but we made a very big step. The help of the national government, the main pipe that brings water into Lang'ata comes all the way from Kabete, and it is gravity pumped. And when it was getting in the stretch of Kibra and along the way, there was a lot of pilferage that was going on. We did put that same pipe off the ground and slabbed it down for almost 1.2 kilometers underground to allow water get into Lang'ata. That's why people in Lang'ata will tell you, we are not getting water the way we hope to, but at least we have made headways. Went ahead, got the tanks and the boreholes at NHC, which later we found the water was too much alkaline, had a lot of alkaline content. So there's a bit of work that needs to be done there, but water was an issue. Then estate roads, Lang'ata boasts to be one of the first areas with the old estates, the Onyonkas of today, the Otiendes of today, Uhuru Gardens, Moi Estate, Ngei Estates. So what we've done, with the money allocated to us from Kera, we've been going straight into the estates to make the roads. And I can tell you by now, we've done almost 26 new roads in the different estates.
Okay.
And you know, most people don't know how big Lang'ata is or where it stretches from.
Yes.
We border Mavoko.
Mavoko?
Mavoko. That's where Lang'ata begins. Yes, Lang'ata begins.
That's quite far.
Yes, in a place called Dupoto. So when you are on Mombasa Road, everything on your left from the Nation Media printers, everything on your left is Lang'ata, ICD, all the way to South Sea, Ole Sereni, as you come on that stretch. On this other end, we go all the way, on Ngong Road, we go all the way to Bulbul. On, then we come to, on Mombasa Road, we go all the way to Nyayo Stadium roundabout. Then we get back out to Bagathi, and we go border Kibra in a place called Lindi. Then on this other side, we go all the way to Karinde, we border Kikuyu. Constituency. Okay. Yes. Then on this other side, we go all the way to Rongai.
Rongai?
Yes, in Rongai, when you home, hapo pali inaitwa Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Just at the bridge.
Yes.
So it's a very big.
Yeah, it's quite wide.
It's a big space that we need to work on. Yes.
All right. Just to continue with the conversation, I want to hear your thoughts about CDF, but we're coming back after these short messages. Don't go away.
This Friday with Betty, brought to you by Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care.
New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care. With 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care. For your shade of beautiful.
To the world.
Rubani, hii sasa ndio inabamba. Avieta ya Maybets imecome through. Kuna the biggest multiplier in Kenya. Shinda up to 5 million in seconds. Ndege, check. Mafuta, check. Rubani, wewe ndo utaamua. Uko ready kupepea ujishindie madoo. Na hata ikifly away, usitense. Tunakurudishia 5% of your stake. Bado uko sorted. We, peperuka na Avieta on maybets.com. Jishindie madoo.
Na siku njema uonekana pesa ikiingia. Pesa ikiingia.
Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Over.
Roll and have a chance to win. Tap and have a chance to win.
This Friday with Betty, brought to you by Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care.
New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care. With 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
And welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. So coming back to our conversation with Jalas, talk to me about CDF. What are your thoughts about it being, scraped off? Has it been working? Has it been taken advantage of?
I can tell you CDF, to me, is one of the best things that has ever happened, even before devolution. Or even if it came with devolution, I would tell you a member of parliament is able to go out there and show you projects that a governor might not even be able to show, okay? Like when I came in, the previous regime had started a lot of projects that had stalled. If you go in today, we've completed a whole school, new school. Kongoni
Properly
Secondary.
built.
Complete. Actually 4 floors, complete. And students are moving in as we speak.
Okay.
There was a multi-purpose hall at Karensi Girls Secondary School. We've completed that. We're putting up new police houses. We are putting up definitely the office down there. We are doing renovations in almost all schools in Lang'ata. And you can actually say that this project is happening, this project is happening, this project is happening.
Right.
But then the bigger conversation is always under bursary. Bursary is one way that you directly touch the common person. And if you get it wrong, it always could send you home any day.
Yes.
But one thing I really wish is one day education to just be free, because there's a lot of funds that are being put into schools. The capitation, the government capitations, the governor's bursary, the MP's bursary.
Yes.
When all this money is put together, education should be free, because of even the dignity around bursary is not there. When I came in, I saw what it takes. It pained me, where women wake up as early as 3 in the morning to line up for that 5,000 shillings check or that 10,000 shillings check. And they're in their thousands, and people would line up from that early all the way to the evening for these bursaries that they need. But it tells you how they look at it as a very important way to get the children to school. But how I wish it was school is free. That is the most important thing. And it's a legislation that must come to the House so that we make sure that school is actually free. But for every single person out there, they will tell you and show you that this TVET in Lang'ata was actually done, completed through CDF. This school here was done, complete. It's actually written on that wall.
Yes.
Even the amount that was used is there. And for a long time, I used to think that CDF is an account that an MP can go sign check and get money from. No, I don't even interact with that money or see it even a single day. A board is somebody from the board. The most important person under CDF in the constituency is called the fund manager. The fund manager is sent from the CDF board. Then a committee is done, is put together that will run that fund. And even let's say that we were doing a project at Josh Loom Primary School, a PMC, a board from the school, that is the parents and the teachers are put together to see and oversee that that money is actually used on the right places. That's it.
Absolutely. And talking about money being used on the right places, I'm sure you've seen, these trending stories about money being used to buy, 1 million being used to buy sodas, 3.6 million shillings being used to, to buy success cards.
It's so sad.
I want to just hear your thoughts about it.
Betty, when you hear such things, that's when you get why some Kenyans are really...
many Kenyans.
Are in this pain that they don't know how to get themselves out. When somebody okays 1 million shillings to buy sodas, but you could even see the things that are being read, and the governors were actually wondering, okay, when did this happen and how?
Exactly.
So when you have a team that is just out there for greed. There's always high expectancy, and there's too much expectations from these people. And if you have a team that is filled with greed, you might end up sitting in front of a panel like that. Things are being read for you, and even you
don't have an idea.
You get surprised.
Yeah.
But it's so sad that a budget could be put up like that. You know, the governor, maybe this budget was was allocated. The budget, you have your budgeting committee. They have allocated 3.5 million for success cards. Maybe you yourself, you don't even know
what a success card is, Jalas.
No, not what a success card is, that this budget has even been put there. Because you put in a committee, you really need competent people around you to even guard you. People who you put to work must be people of integrity, to make sure that even when they look at you and things are being done, that you are able to look back and say, you know what, I had a good team that wanted, but it's so sad, Betty, that somebody could allocate 1 million for sodas. Kwani walikuwa wanaleta kampuni mzima hapo. Ama hii soda ndio gani?
Hata zisikia soda ya your pesa amount.
But the question is also, how many people were there?
You can't have 1 million. You can't even have 500,000 people in that sitting.
In a sitting like that.
It doesn't
make sense. Let's just say it doesn't make sense totally.
Jalas, as we wind up, just talk about maybe the challenges and what you're looking forward to, you know, legislating for, you know, for Lang'ata this remaining years. Nasi mingi. Meshaanza kuongea 2027.
2027 and everything. It's a very short time and it moves so fast.
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenge that members of parliament go through, or I go through personally, is being able to go beyond your call of duty, all right? Let's say like a Friday like this, when you have maybe 10 to 15 funerals in the constituency.
Yes.
And these people are expecting that you become the help that they need. That people will tell you, Mheshimiwa, sisi tumechanga kila kitu tunataka tu ni gari ya kwenda wapi? Nyumbani. Na sasa hiyo nyumbani ni wapi? Busia. And that is around 120,000.
Yeah.
So let's say you have even 10 of them every week.
Yes.
Understand? Because mortality and death is not something you plan for. Then people who are sick, people who are... So you go beyond call of duty. And this is not money that is somewhere. You know, people always think, sometimes I see somebody says, barabara ni mbaya, toa CDF utengeneze. You can't. Do you know CDF has its roles? That today, even if there was a fire and it gutted the whole place and people are dead, you cannot even pick a coin from CDF to do even a single renovation. You understand? So going beyond the call of duty, that goes beyond legislation, representation, and oversight.
All right.
That is one of the biggest challenge members of parliament go through. But it's an interesting and a beautiful job where people, when you hear people say thank you for the roads that you patroned and it's here at home, thank you for the bursaries, thank you. There are people who actually appreciate the work you do. And that makes you want to do it again.
To run again.
And again and again. And it's almost like a cult, eh? You always talk how bad it is, but the adrenaline around campaign. Betty, I wish you helped me campaign.
Wewe acha nilikuweka kila mahali Facebook, Instagram.
Wewe ulikuja, but sasa ground. Ground. Siku moja ukuja ground utajua.
Utakuja. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, I wish we had more time, Jalas, but thank you so much for talking to us.
It's over.
It's over, man. Do you know we've done 30 minutes?
I thought we were going to have good conversations.
See, we're having good conversations, man. But you know what?
This was too...
We'll come
it was too tired. It's Friday. I came dressed up.
Unajua unaenda nini? Sasa nimeweza kuachilia uenjoy weekend.
Anyway.
So ladies and I wish we had more time, but maybe next time.
Could I just say thank you to our camera?
Yeah.
Which one is my camera? That one?
That one over there.
To the people of Lang'ata, thank you so much for the greatest honor you've ever bestowed to me to represent you in the 13th Parliament. And it is something I'm forever grateful, forever indebted. That's why I'm with you every day on the ground, making sure that work is done. We have 2 years to go, and we will make the dream come true.
Amen to
Thank
that.
you so much.
All the best, Jalas, my
Asante
friend, my
sana.
brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. Salimia Amina. Salimia familia.
Lazima tawasalimia.
All right, thank you
Upenda
so much.
kuchoma sana.
Namjua sana sana. Okay, Jalas. Ayarakisha. Okay, you're on my set. Just okay. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us. That was Jalas, of course, Member of Parliament for Lang'ata. You've heard everything he has to say. If you've missed part of it, you can go to our X. Everything is there on TV47 handle and my handle. So for now, let's cross over to our guest anchor very quickly. All right, let's go. Kasim, karibu sana. Thank you so much. You guys, this is our guest anchor tonight. Uko poa?
Uko poa sana. Nashukuru.
Uko poa?
How are you?
I'm fine.
Unakaa vizuri.
Asante. It's good to see you.
Mimi nimefurahia sana kukuona. It's good to see you too. It's a very long time.
Exactly.
7 years is not easy.
It's not easy.
But I'm here.
Ebu wambie tu vile tulikutana, vile ilikuwa very interesting how we met.
Okay, a couple of years back, serious struggles. Nairobi, you're hustling. You know the hustle and bustle of Nairobi. I was selling njugu.
Imagine.
Unfortunately, it had to be that way.
Ilikuwa hustle your time.
Ilikuwa hustle that time. So like, I used to like see you on TV. So 100% I had to like call on you because most of the time you used to pass with your vehicle ukienda job. So I said, hey, Leo, I'm stopping Betty. And lucky enough, you're there to my call. And I was so happy because I remember that I wasn't like into selling the peanuts for you. I was so happy. Ile singeweza fanya anything else. You offered a picture.
Yeah.
Actually, it was one of the best moments zangu za barabara, unaelewa? I never thought ndakuja kupatana na a celebrity, let alone an anchor, TV personality. But years zikapita.
Ukaendelea na hustle.
Nikaendelea na hustle. Here and there, you have to grow. From this step, you have to like move the other nini levels.
Yes.
So from there, I joined campus. Fortunate enough, niliweza pia kujaribu pale high school. Na God alifungua njia.
Okay. So kuna business.
So right now, I'm one of the top sneaker sellers in Nairobi. My shop is located in South B. Massive support to the people and the group. That,
I love those.
Shoe game
on point.
Shoe game siku zote.
Okay.
And I'm happy because hata wewe nataka tukitoka hapa
tuchague njumu,
unapata nataka kuongea umeng'ara. Tunapiga wa sniper gang.
So guys, my man from selling peanuts in traffic, we got to meet. It was destiny. Today he's here to be our news anchor, and you have to get the shoes. The page is on Instagram.
The page is on Instagram. It has Jamal Kicks KE Kenya.
All right.
Jamal Kicks KE Kenya. Don't forget.
They won't forget. Come on over here. All right. So there we go. So nataka simona vizuri. Tunaweza jaribu kidogo.
Tunaweza jaribu si ngumu.
Sawa.
I'm the one reading.
You're the one reading. I give it a try.
2 refurbished basketball courts were earlier today opened for use by surrounding communities in Kasarani, Nairobi County. The facilities located at the Kenya Academy of Sports in Kasarani will be used by boys and girls aged 16 and under, also targeting secondary school children. The program called Basketball Experience will feature weekly training session conducted by local and international coaches. The players will also undergo life skill session with the aim of making them change makers in the local and in their local communities. The French ambassador to Kenya, Arnaud Sique, unveiled their program earlier today in company of officials from NBA Africa and the French Development Agency. The project is also ongoing in Morocco and Nigeria.
Great!
To the NBA and to the AFD, and underline the powerfulness of the partnership between those two organizations.
Identify through that pathway, there is a way of nurturing them. And that is why this basketball arena is at the Kenya Sports Academy.
Are playing more grassroots basketball than arguably being played anywhere in Africa. And so It just needs a little bit more support.
Once they are selected, with the assistance of CAS, this becomes their home. This is where their talents, their skills are sharpened, and from here, they go for the competitions.
He actually did a good job. You actually did a good job.
Nashukuru. I tried. I gave my best shot.
You did, man.
Joy kwa camera in front of the camera before, but
it was a nice experience.
A nice experience, 100%. I'd say in ile kitu nasemanga ni once in a lifetime.
Ni camera sasa. So na switch camera enda sasa kwa hii sasa.
Nasemanga this is once in a lifetime. The best opportunity, the best shot at being great. Unapata. And today, I'm very much pleased. Because so happy. Kuwa na wewe Betty. You don't know how much this means to me and my brand. But 100%.
Okay.
Go great na tutaendelea kuinuka. And I'll be glad ukini invite tena.
Takuinvite tena bro.
At least tukuje sasa tupige. Unaona kwa set pale. Nimepiga kama VJ baba. Hapo sasa.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamal. Please follow his page. Also support his business. Like, this guy has really hustled through life. Like, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you.
I'm also happy to see you. Na nataka nikuone tena tukiinuka sawa. My next bima nataka tupishane pale kwa barabara. Betty nisonge nataka kupita kidogo. Manze to live your life pamoja.
To live your life. I promise you. Ni majenzi mko na story mosa.
So happy man. Marriage over rage man.
Aya, thank you so much. Aya, sawa unaweza rudi. Okay, ladies, the energy tonight has been crazy. So let's go straight to Which is Which with Willis Ocheng. Okay, guys, man, the show tonight is on fire. Very interesting stuff. So let's cross over quickly to Kisii County, where we have Willis Ocheng. Willis, leo show imeweza kuweza. Sasa we're waiting for your, for your icing on the cake now. Ndo tumalize.
I know. Betty, it's always on fire. You are on fire, they are on fire, and at TV47 is also on fire. That is at TV47 News, and that is it out here.
Thank you, Willis. Thank you so much. Great energy, and let's get straight to it. So let's start with the first word, and this one is SIPHON. Do we say siphon? Do we say siphon? Do we say siphon? How do we go about that one?
Betty, that word has the stress at the onset. When I talk about stress at the onset, I refer to the beginning of that word, the first syllable. So you say siphon, siphon. What is also important is that diphthong I, sigh, not siphon. You don't say to siphon fuel, you say to siphon fuel.
Okay, to siphon, not siphon. Thank you so much, Willis. Moving to this one. This one, it gives people problems. So do we say pediatric, pediatric? How do we go about that one? Pediatrician or pediatrician, pediatrician? How do we say that word, Willis?
When we talk about that which is connected to children and the diseases that they always have, you talk of P, not pie. Pie is quite common, but you don't say pie at the beginning. You say P with a long, high front sound E. Pediatric.
Okay.
Pediatric. That is the adjective. Then we have pediatrician, not pediatrician. Then pediatrics.
Okay.
So what is important is P, not pie.
Okay, that's a surprise. Pediatrician. Is that so, Willis? Pediatrician.
Yeah. Pediatrician, pediatrics, pediatric. So that is the way to go, Betty.
Okay, that was a surprise for me, for sure, Willis. Okay, let's move on to this.
It happens, Betty.
Yes, it does. Let's take a look at this other one. Willis, do we say resignation, resignation? How do we go about saying this particular word?
Well, let's begin with the verb, Betty. To resign, resign. But when we come to inflection, changing the form of a word for grammatical function, you don't now say resignation, resignation, no. Now you say resignation.
Okay.
Resignation. That is the correct pronunciation, Betty.
Okay, resignation. Okay, Willis, thank you for that. Yes. Moving to this other one. So do we say beverage, beverage? How do we go about that one? Which is which?
Beaver, no. Bever, yes.
Okay.
You say beverage, beverage, not beverage that we commonly hear around us.
Okay.
But many people sometimes mispronounce certain words in English because they lack proper guidance on how to handle them. But now that they have a chance to watch this show, Betty, they are good and they are relaxed.
Okay, Willis. Moving to this other one. So do we say excellent or excellent? You remember the other time we said we normally say exist and not exist. So when we come to this one, Willis, how do we go about it?
Tricky. The problem with English, when you talk about the orthography of English and the phonology of English, when I talk about orthography, that is the spelling system, then phonology is about the sound system. We have a lot of irregularities, Betty. Exist. Example, but you don't say excel. You say to excel or excel. So,
what?
Excellency and excellent, not excellent. Many people say excellent. That is inaccurate.
Okay.
You say excellent, excellency.
Okay. Yeah, that one is a surprise, really. Yeah, people say excellent. Excellent, but
yes, many people
wrong.
say excellent. You may find somebody, like sometimes, Betty, something once happened to me in a public vehicle, and somebody wanted to make people inside that vehicle understand that she is tough in English, because I think she had come back from some foreign land, and then she shouted, excellent. Then, you know, somebody looked at me. Betty, sometimes it's better to be relaxed, not to display certain things. When you're not sure, you just avoid it. But that lady shouted, excellent. Now I said, oh God, I wish she knew. But it happens. Nobody's perfect.
Oh my goodness, Willis, I'm sure you normally take a laugh whenever you hear this wrong pronunciation.
It happens. That is life.
It is life for sure. Okay,
yes,
Willis.
It's life.
All right, Willis. I'll let you go through your collection, and then we're going to come back and
our
test
collections
our
for
tongue.
the week, and we have also to appreciate them. So I'll be a bit fast because we have time is running. So we have Rashid to Vincent. At Rashid to Vincent of Nairobi, you say anemone, anemone, and then you have Ustasha or Ustashare. Remember the first word, you can also say anemone, but anemone is the one which is more recognized when you talk about RP, that is received pronunciation. Now, we have Bethel W, Mwaura. You say pupil or pupil, then peril, peril, April, April. You can say April or April, then apparel, apparel. Then we have it's Peter Walker of Mtwapa, Mombasa, a very tricky word, Betty. Many people say porcelain, but we don't say porcelain, it's porcelain. The A in that word is silent. Then we have at Ken Songu, rural and squirrel. Emily Banda of Chuda, Pwani, you say juice. Betty, have you heard somebody saying in a supermarket, somebody is in a supermarket and the person says, can I have the juice, juice or juice? Have you heard such mispronunciations?
Sorry, Willis?
they are there. But such people are innocent because that is what they commonly hear around them. You say Jews, Jews, not Jews and not Jewish. Then we have Coletta Anyango of Kisumu Karateng. Karateng, that is a very, let me leave that story. Let me go straight to the word Betty. You say grew. Coletta Anyango, you say grew, not grew. Grew, no. Grew, brew, crew, screw, and you also say drew. The teams drew, not drew. Then we have Man David, you say schedule. Schedule. Not, don't say schedule. It is schedule in American English. That is American English, you say schedule. But in the English or standard English, if you like, British standard English, you say schedule. Then we have Dr. Julius Gekonde Mogaka. Dr. Julius Gekonde Mogaka and Mercy Malombo of eSmart College, you say direct, direct, directorate. And then director, but you can also say director. Aleki Angosh 254 of Gidogaro. Some names, Betty. Can you say Gidogaro?
Gidogaro. Gidogaro.
Gidogaro. Sometimes you see, you have to say it the local way. Gidogaro. Now, you say refuge and refugee. Don't say refuge and don't say refugee. Nimrod Kidinji. Nimrod Kidinji 1 of Texas, you say chores. Domestic chores. Don't say cause.
Yes.
Chores.
Okay.
At Nick Mukindia, you say jail for that name, not jail that we see or our eyes see jail, but Betty, you say jail when you're pronouncing that word in English.
Right.
And we have at Edward Moindi, lingerie and insidious. Some of the words, I'll handle them for you later because we have to share with everyone. Perpetua. Betty.
Yes.
There is a name Perpetua. Do you hear Perpetua? Have you heard Perpetua?
Perpetua.
Imagine that name is pronounced as Perpetua. Perpetua Simiyu of Bungoma, you say leopards, not leopards. That O is silent. AFC leopards, not AFC leopards, which we hear commonly. Now, Lawrence Bingi of Nairobi, you say plumbing, not plumbing. Plumbing, no. That B is silent. You say plumbing and plumber or plumbers. Then we have Sami Mwada of Muranga Town.
Yes.
Thank you. Caroline Joki of Nyeri. Thank you. Abdallah Mahmoud of Malindi and Benta Sankale of Narok. Keep it at TV47 every Friday night because I got your messages throughout the week and we also appreciate you so much. Otherwise, Betty, can I move to the surprise word or we try to listen or we can hear people trying their tongues?
Let's just move straight to it. Straight to it.
Okay.
Okay.
We go to the surprise word?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we have it. Betty, when you talk about that room or space in the wall of a house where people keep things.
Okay.
Can you just give what you commonly hear locally? What do you hear people saying for this word, Betty?
Let me just take a look at it. Closet. Either or.
Many people say that.
Yes.
Closet, but we say closet. Closet.
What?
That is the correct or accurate pronunciation of this word.
Okay.
It's a surprise, and I know to very many people, closet, the closet, not the closet, not the closet. So our eyes can see the spelling, but the pronunciation becomes tricky, which is why we share good pronunciations like brothers and sisters on this show, Betty.
Thank you so much.
Test your tongue or something?
Yes. Kindly finish for us with test your tongue. I don't want to try that word because it's so hard. Just go for it, Willis.
Do we have any clip, Betty?
No. Let's just go straight to it.
Or we just go straight to that word. So
Yes,
I have to display it because sometimes, you know, the machines, the way they behave and the time. So this word talks about those who fall between the age bracket of 71 and 79. So you say septua or septua. You can also say septua. So septuagenarian, yes. Septuagenarian, yes. Septua or septua, tricky but manageable. Just like you talk of octogenarian for those who fall between 81 and 89. Then we have sexagenarian for those who fall between the bracket of 61 and 69. Otherwise, Betty, I think if anybody wants to reach us, they just send something to at Betty M. Kialo,
yes,
at TV47 News,
yes,
or just to Willis Ochieng 1. At Willis Ochieng 1, that is on X, any day of the week. But Friday night, ensure that you're with us to watch This Friday with Betty. The segment is Which is Which, and I'm Willis Ochieng.
All
just
right.
a Willis.
Wow, Willis, thank you so much. A lot of those words really are just a big, big surprise. So we really appreciate you talking to us about, proper pronunciations. And like you mentioned, we need people to talk to us more on X, and then we'll be tackling the questions that they ask every Friday, God willing. So we are about to end the show, but let me just take a few, a few messages from you. Thank you so much for watching. Somebody, George Museti, surely, yatidada ni gani sasa? Okay, Cosmos Oraka Matatu, you're saying, Betty, I'm enjoying the show here in Butere. Salimia Willis, I'm sure amesalimika sana. Prince Vince, you're saying, this Friday with Betty, that guy is a vibe indeed, for sure. I mean, our guest Nanka tonight was on fire. He really made us really, really happy. Thank you so much for all these messages. We keep taking a look at them today and next Friday. All right, so just before we wind up the show, like I mentioned earlier, the Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care Body Lotion is a real game changer for us. Well, listen, it provides 48 hours of deep nourishment and reduces the appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. Can you imagine that? Ladies, we suffer with these things. Well, this lotion is made to meet our unique skincare needs as Africans, while giving us a solution that truly, truly works. Well, it not only nourishes, but also deeply moisturizes the skin to prevent dry, ashy skin. With 5 vitamins and 5 oils, there's no actually need to mix any additional oils to your Nivea Radiant and Beauty Body Lotion. Well, the lotion by itself is enough to give you well moisturized skin for 48 hours. You will love how your skin feels and looks, thanks to, of course, a Nivea for your shade of beautiful. There you go. Well, you can tell I was using Nivea, this evening before I came to work. But I really appreciating your time, your feedback, you watching the show tonight. For all my guests, Jamal, of course, we have Jalang'o and Willis and the fantastic team that has made the production